I'm fucking pissed the fuck off. They cut my motherfucking food stamps to $85 fucking from $738. How the fuck that's supposed to support a household of 3? For a job that barely even support my basic needs now. Like, inflation is high in the bitch, groceries is high as shit. Oh, I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm mad as shit because how the fuck am I supposed to survive off that shit? So when y'all see me in the motherfucking store stealing stuff and that shit in my motherfucking bag, nicely act like you don't see shit and mind your motherfucking business, because this shit is going in my motherfucking bag and I'm walking out this motherfucking store with my motherfucking chest up and my head held high, and I dare you to try to tell me, hey ma'am, excuse me, because I'm gonna look at you like you fucking retarded and say go talk to Trump about that shit. On my kids, anybody that motherfucking voted for him, girl, fuck you, or him, fuck y'all, because y'all the stupidest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life.
Whether you like Black fatigue as a name or not, it's the truth. Like, we're tired of the victimhood mentality, the trauma identification, the need for external, agreement. That's ridiculous. That's terrible for the Black community right now. That's terrible for the children growing up. I mean, there's so many broken homes, and I think that's the core foundation. Number one, I believe the core foundation is that the parents failed to not only unify the home, but also failed to put true identity in God in the children. So if you don't have identity in God, you don't have identity at all.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. So in this clip, we're going to watch, this is from Isaiah Factor Uncensored. This is like a local Houston news channel, and they're debating the definition of Black fatigue. So this is a conversation that's still going on. And this is a very interesting panel, and a few people had very, very interesting things to say. So we're going to watch it together, and I'll give you my take. But before we do, guys, hit the like button down below. It really helps the channel out. Let's get into it.
Now to Black fatigue, it has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and Black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some Black people, the claims of racism from sunup to sundown, loud talking, fighting, and the list goes on. Not my list now, keep that in mind. But some people are tired of the complaints and don't give a damn. Here's what one TikTok user had to say about it.
Not racist, and I know y'all have been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call Black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. It's me, but me and other Black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's going to come to when y'all keep coddling Black people.
All righty, are her feelings valid? Joining us to talk about it, Dr. Angela Jones, political analyst, Angela Box, activist, Eugene Howard, filmmaker Sean Welling, and conservative M. Williams. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Factor. First of all, let's define what Black fatigue is supposed to be, Dr. Jones.
Black fatigue is supposed to be just and I'm trying to make it as short as possible. Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how Black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past on what's happening today. And they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well. As she said, like loud mouthing or maybe, using certain words or certain behaviors in public. So that's basically the definition in a short sense.
Do we get anywhere with that, with this conversation?
No, this absolutely
okay, good night, folks.
I mean, the thing is, it's an absolutely pointless conversation. It's like, okay, so now what? Thank you for letting us know that there's a new fancy word of you saying that you're tired of Black people. Mm-hmm. And you put it on the internet, and now people are co-signing on it, including with the way the environment is already. But it's okay. You put a nice new name to it, and now you feel like it's okay to say. And it's not going to do anything for anybody to now pander this term around, to pass it on in the internet and put it in people's mouth and make people feel encouraged to say, I have Black fatigue. But when we're all tired, when I'm saying, we're all tired of something and somewhere, there's always something. Mm-hmm. So this is not actually going to help anyone psychologically, mentally, emotionally. It's only going to create more divisiveness, more anger, and more hate in society.
And when we see
See, the problem I have is that this woman right here and most of these people that will argue what she just argued, they won't say the same thing when the pro-black side, the black supremacists come out and say that all white people are racist, right? She never complains about terms like white supremacy or white privilege, right? She never complains about that. They never complain about that. They actually think that's empowering, right? They're very quick to come out and label all white people as racist. But all of a sudden, when there's criticism coming to the other side, it's a problem. It's not productive. It's not going to solve anything. Well, why don't you have the same? Why don't you apply the same logic on the other side, right? How is it productive to call all white people racist? How is it productive to say that all white people are responsible for what happened during slavery? How is that productive? When, first of all, that's not the truth, right? So that's more divisive than actually calling out bad behavior, right? It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. That's what these people fail to realize is you guys on the pro-black side encompassing all white people into one category is not the same thing as black and white people calling out bad behavior from black people. It's not the same thing whatsoever. Right? Because first of all, we always come out and say that this behavior is not all black people. It's not all black people. But on the other side, they never come out and say it's not all white people. Matter of fact, they say all white people are responsible. And if they don't fight against systemic racism and systemic oppression, they're actually complicit. Right? That's the biggest problem here. So it's a huge difference. But, they never apply the same logic across the board.
A lot of people, especially black people, joining that chorus, saying that I'm tired of black people too. What will that do?
It's not going to do anything, because here's the thing, that black person or the black people that are on the internet saying that can go somewhere and they're going to be already stereotyped into the group that they're trying to separate themselves from just because they're black. No, you actually have to be around people.
That's not true. What she's doing is actually what stereotypes and encompasses all black people into this category by not differentiating black people and niggas, is what I like to call it. You have black people and you have the N's. Those are two different groups of people. But see, what these people here tend to do is that when black people call out the N's or white people call out the N's, they say, oh, you're calling out all black people. You're basically a racist towards blacks because you're calling out bad behavior coming from black people. That right there actually encompasses all black people into one category and creates one stereotypical identity for one race. Then when we come out and say no, there's a difference. There's a difference between civilized black people and there's a difference between the N's. And it's two different groups of people and it's two different mindsets and behaviors. And so we like to separate ourselves. We like to separate ourselves and call those people out. And it's actually very productive for us to call their bad behavior out, because that's the only way that it's going to work. Because nobody is allowed to call out this bad behavior. According to the pro-blacks, white people can't call out this bad behavior because it's racist. You can't hold them accountable through law enforcement because the law enforcement is also racist. So who's gonna be left to do it? Black conservatives, right? If we're the only ones that is calling this out, then this is the only way that it's gonna get fixed. But what she said is the exact opposite. No, we don't. We as black conservatives don't feel like white people automatically stereotype us into other blacks that act bad, right? That are degenerate. I don't feel that way whatsoever because I don't act that way. There's a certain behavior that those people exude. The way that they dress, the way that they talk, the way they interact with people. It's completely different than how I interact with people. So there's no way that I automatically believe that when I'm out in public that a white person automatically thinks that I'm a degenerate. No, that's not the case at all. So what this woman does is very counterproductive, right? If you're calling people racist for calling out bad behavior from black people, then you're automatically linking that bad behavior to the race to the race itself. So what she's saying is the exact opposite of what they need to be doing.
To see their behavior, you have to witness their behavior to actually understand who they are. But she could sit there and be in a crowd of a room of black people, and guess who she's going to be included in that group as well. She's not doing anything that is going to help her or her race at this time.
All right, Angela, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this black fatigue.
Well, with all due respect to Angela, number one, I really disagree with this. It is a completely behavior-based issue. And when white people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people, we've all seen it. We all know what it is. It's everywhere. And, you know, the issue is way more insidious than people realize. And I talk about how a lot of these things come back to what the Democrat Party has done to the black community purposefully, starting with the Great Society of Lyndon B. Johnson, who he famously said, I'm going to have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. When Democrats said you don't need fathers in the home, you can be on welfare and have as many babies as you want. And oh, by the way, we're going to destroy public schools and we're going to make sure that behavior standards are seen as racist. So the out of control behavior that we've seen in the classrooms, in society, all over, is part and parcel of what the Democrat Party has done to the black community.
All right, Eugene, let's hear from you before we have to take a break.
Man, why are we all? What does the Democrat Party have to do with black fatigue?
Everything.
Hold on. Okay, first of all, I think he asked Eugene. So last time I checked, I'm Eugene on the stage. So the Democratic Party has nothing to do with black fatigue. What the original term from the actual black community of black fatigue was after every other community decided to vote, since you want to talk politics, Donald Trump, then black folks said, we're going to sit this one out. We're going to let this thing burn down and we're going to go have a good time because we're tired. We have been struggling. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-great-great-great-grandparents have been fighting this same fight. So if you guys want to turn around, you know, he said the N-word, why don't you guys feel so comfortable, just say it. Just go ahead and say the N-word. We're you know, if it's so okay, if you're so fatigued, if you don't want to recognize the civil rights plight, go ahead and say the N-word. No one's stopping you. It's a free country,
not on
right?
this show, Eugene.
I mean, I'm just saying.
To lose me my show.
but that's my point. It's a lot of things that they want to use code words, whether it's DEI, whether it's black fatigue. They just want to be able to say the N-word without being able to say the N-word.
So do you not find certain behaviors objectionable? Or you think it's cool?
Listen, I live in a real community. I see a whole bunch of unruly white folks, Hispanic folks. So it's not just the black community, but we always want to emphasize on black when it's negative.
All right, we'll take a break there. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue our discussion after the break. Welcome back to The Factor.
Yeah, so that guy right there is included in this black fatigue conversation. That guy right there is a great example of what black fatigue also means, right? Because you have the black degenerates that are included in the definition of black fatigue. And then you also have these woke black liberals as well. These liberals that sell black victimhood like Eugene, right? He acknowledged that there is bad behavior coming from the black community, but he said, oh, well, white people have bad behavior as well. Bro, so why don't you just call out the black peoples that are in your community? I mean, you're in that community. You just said it. You're black yourself, so why don't you call it out? It's like, if white people do it, then black people should do it. Bro, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense at all. So you just acknowledged that there's bad behavior, but you made an excuse for that bad behavior because white people exude bad behavior as well that they get away with. I thought we were better than them, right? That's what they say. That's what they preach. All of these pro-blacks always say, oh, we're better than them. We're more empathetic than them. We're more connected to spirituality, or, you know, all this woke nonsense that they say. But then when it comes down to calling out bad behavior, they make excuses for it. How are you so woke, so spiritually connected, so understanding of the world, so better than everybody, but when it comes down to bad behavior, you make excuses for it? Instead of condemning it, instead of telling people not to do it, you make excuses for it. These people, I'm telling you, these people are backwards. They're not as pro-black as they say they are. They're actually the opposite of pro-black. Everything that these people preach for, starting from abortions to making excuses for bad behavior like Carmelo Anthony and the guy that killed the police officer, the innocent police officer. Yeah, this is what this is. This is what they do. This is the black fatigue that we're talking about. Is these people fail to call out bad behavior all day, every day, and they know it exists. He just admitted that he sees it. This is insane.
Stress that some black people deal with when it comes to constant exposure to racism. But there are people both on both sides and inside and outside the black community who say they are tired of hearing about it. Our guests are back here on The Factor. Emenderlin, let's begin with you. As a conservative, your thoughts about black fatigue.
Well, whether you like black fatigue as a name or not, it's the truth. Like, we're tired of the victimhood mentality, the trauma identification, the need for external, agreement. That's ridiculous. That's terrible for the black community right now. That's terrible for the children growing up. I mean, there's so many broken homes, and I think that's the core foundation. Number one, I believe the core foundation is that the parents failed to not only unify the home, but also failed to put true identity in God in the children. So if you don't have identity in God, you don't have identity at all. That's number one.
Do you at all see the black community as a lost cause, or just
Absolutely
some
not.
individuals? What?
I don't believe the black community is a lost cause at all. I just believe that we need to stop as a whole with all of this complaining. We need to move past the past and become better. As an American, my parents were actually Nigerian. They came here in the 80s and they grew up here. They had me and my brothers, and we're all successful and not one complaint through our entire childhood. They said, work for what you need, work for what you're gonna get, and you will get it. God placed talent in all of us, black, white, whatever you may call yourself, but God placed all of these great things within us. Why should I now say, oh, well, a white person thinks this of me, or there's racism here and there? I don't think about that. I don't wake up every morning and have racism and all of these negative things on my mind. I move forward and I move past that.
All right, Sean, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this conversation and the term that we now hear.
And again, I was so taken by your speech. The term we're talking about is black, what was it again? It's
fatigue.
Okay, so on black fatigue, and coming from somebody, and I think I agree with her tremendously, having a school for 3 decades, it was the first hip-hop dance school in the country. It's a cancer to tell a young kid that they're oppressed, that they're less than, and the world's against them. Right from the beginning, you're setting a standard by which they have to overcome something, when really you need to put God in them and tell them how great things are for them.
Amen.
So I was never around black people to complain. All the actors and dancers I was around, they had a sense of purpose. They were dynamic and they never complained. So to me, it's really what I get is in social media is a lot of white people complaining and creating this problem, saying, look, watch out, these people are in trouble. I'm like, back off. Mm-hmm. Let them create their own destiny.
Absolutely.
So I don't see that as being the black issue. I see more of a liberal white situation when they're not even in a position to complain or talk about it. They're virtue signaling, and it drives us nuts.
Okay.
Dr. Jones?
The conversation that we're having here is whether black fatigue is a real thing. But the problem is that the reason this topic has come back up is because of the viral video that recently came out of the woman that called a 5-year-old autistic kid the N-word. Mm-hmm. And then she raised $700,000 by a Christian organization, and I am Christian as well, so I just want to put that out there as well. And she raised $300,000 from another organization. I don't know if she actually got that money, but then this video from the person who originally started putting this on TikTok came out in reference to that.
Yeah.
Now, I am a first-generation American as well, and I was taught a certain way as well, but what we cannot ignore is the things that have set us back as a community. The reason we are not where we're supposed to be is because we are still only a couple of decades away from what we have been oppressed from and the things that we have gone
Constantly
from.
looking at the past.
My
Really quick, let Dr. Jones talk.
Okay, and so my grandmother, who just passed away last week, was there for the civil rights, was there for everything like that, and I was there to see all of those things as well. It cannot be ignored that these things are still oppressing our community. I understand, and I actually agree. I was instilled hard work, go to school, do what you're supposed to do, and I did. But I'm not going to sit there and ignore as though the people in my community, not everyone had that opportunity. So at the end of the day, to say yes, we're tired of it, but Let's go in every community. We could sit there and say there's white fatigue, there's Hispanic fatigue, there's Asian fatigue, there's fatigue in everywhere. But the problem is that they're always emphasizing the black community as the pitch. It's the behavior in every community.
The behavior is the problem. Now, here's what's disgusting. We're coming up on the 5-year anniversary
we got 30 seconds,
of the St. George, Florida fentanyl dying. And every white liberal, and excuse me, every white liberal on planet Earth said that George Floyd is the epitome of black people, and we had billions and billions of dollars that didn't cause his death. He wasn't murdered.
That's off topic.
Millions and millions of dollars.
Thank you guys. We want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor for this segment.
He wasn't murdered. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to stop it right there. Very, very interesting conversation here. Now, what I find very, very interesting is this woman right here that's talking, and people like myself who are first-generation Africans who are more conservative-leaning, tend to get a lot of bash and backlash from the FBAs, right, when we call out behaviors like this and talk about subjects like this. Now, when we talk about behaviors like this, we're, in my opinion, very, very productive, right? Because we're telling people what the bad behavior is and what they should do instead, right? How they should not be acting, right? And we don't make any excuses for it. Now, on the other hand, what happens is that people like her and myself, since we're first generation and we're immigrants, right, we get called tether and sellouts and coon and Uncle Toms, all types of racial slurs, right? They tell us to go back to Africa, right, because we're disrespecting the FBAs. But when in reality, we're really trying to help. Now, on the other hand, you have people like this lady here at the end who also said that she was a first-generation immigrant as well, right? That's what I heard her say. Now, when she's speaking, she's making excuses, right? She's making the black community to be a victim, right? She's selling victimhood, essentially. Whereas the other lady right here in the boots is selling empowerment, right? Self-reliance, education. On the other hand, this lady right here preaches victimhood. That's the biggest difference. Now, this lady right here and myself, we get called sellouts. But her, she will never get called anything, right? She's an immigrant. She's not an FBA, according to the woke blacks, right? So why is her messaging accepted when she's preaching victimhood, but whenever we're preaching empowerment, we're the sellouts? It makes no sense whatsoever to me, and that's why I say these people are backwards. They truly do not want to help the black community. Some of these people, especially the race hustlers, because that's part of their grift. If they help the black community be empowered and be self-reliant, there would be no need for race hustlers, right? Their career would no longer exist. So if they actually fix the problem that they're actually saying that they're there to fix, they're basically getting rid of their own job. So why would they do that? Why would they do that? So that's why they call out and hate people like myself who preach self-reliance. You're capable, you're smart, you don't need the white man, you don't need a handout, you don't need reparations, you can go get it on your own. I mean, what's wrong with that? Right? Raise your kids, get married, have a family, stay away from trouble, right? Cooperate with law enforcement as best as you can, right? Don't have kids in high school, graduate high school. I mean, all of these things are positive. But for some reason, we're called the sellouts. But if I was to sit here and say, no, black people, you need the white man. You have to go get your reparations. You won't succeed without the help of the white liberal. You won't make it on your own, right? You're not smart. If I said these things, oh my God, they would love it. They will eat this shit up. You are a victim, right? That's what doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. These people are backwards. And yeah, that's what I got to say. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your opinions are down below. Let's talk about this video in the comment section. Of course, if you are brand new, consider hitting subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.